Grit and the other part of Twisted Grapevines. And I'm so happy you guys could stop by and join me tonight. We just finished up doing a live on Facebook, and we made this beautiful breast cancer awareness wreath. So that we just did. And tonight what I want to share with you guys is how to make a plush pumpkin. So I'm going to reach over and grab these right here so you can see these right here. Here's kind of a navy blue one. Here's a burgundy one. And when I make these are fabric, and I use an actual real live dried stem. And your stems come in all different shapes. Some are cut off. Yeah, they're just all weird. The best place I found to get these, if you didn't try them yourself last year, didn't do that. But anyways, I bought them on eBay. So that's where I have gotten a lot of my. This one I like a little bit more, I will be honest, because it has a bigger base right there, whereas this one's a smaller base. This is a new person I bought from. Not quite as happy with these as I am with these. These have a little bit more character. These are a little bit more plain. So, like look at this one. Look at that. Oh, that's kind of fun. I mean, give me character. It looks like a witch's hat almost. Give me character any day over plain. So that's kind of what we're doing with these. So you can use a lot of different fabrics when you make these pumpkins. These were made with crushed velvet, crushed velour. Regular velour is this one. I really do like the velours because they don't fray. So I really do like these. I have also made, and it's on another wreath over there on the table, this is kind of like a seersucker. This one is a really nice one, and it makes, even though it frays a little bit, just like when you're dealing with mesh that frays, you just be careful how you handle it. So that's there. I'm going to make one here tonight, and this is also a cotton in a cheetah print. So I've got a customer who's ordered a couple of these that I'm going to make tonight. So you can make these in different sizes. And the one thing about the cotton, other than the fraying, you have to also be careful of is sometimes you may have to iron the fabric, because if it has wrinkles in it, I mean, you are gathering it, but you don't want a crease in there that you intentionally didn't put there. So I always iron my cottons, or I steam them first. So just kind of letting you know. So on this one, I don't know if you can see really close, there's a small gray line. You may be able to see it on this one better. So see that gray line going around it? That's actually a pattern that I use. And it's my Pampered Chef pizza stone. So I have a 12-inch pizza stone, and I use it for my circles. It's a great circle. It makes a wonderful circle. When I cut these right here, I take that 12-inch and I add probably about an inch or 5/8 inch to it. If you're a seamstress, you know what I'm talking about. You add your selvage on. So that's what I'm doing when I do these. I add about an inch, 5/8 to an inch onto those. And they don't have to be perfect. These are very forgiving. This one, the customer wants a large one and a small one. So this one I added about an inch and a half. If you can see the small line right there, I added about an inch and a half. And then for the small one, this was off of the pizza wheel too, I came in an inch. So you can see quite a bit of difference between these two. Well, you may not be able to because they're on top of each other. But here's the little one, and then here's the big one. So don't think you have to, and I mean, I'm a geometry teacher. I've got tons of those compasses where I can make these. Exact. Don't make it hard. When I make lollipops, I trace these, or I trace the bigger wheels. Don't make this hard. You've got great circles all around you. This is a good wheel, the big ones like here too, if you're doing suckers or lollipops. But like I said, if you have a pizza pan, a round pan of any kind, that's a great pattern. Use that for your pattern piece. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do the cheetah print tonight. These are other ones that I've cut for some other orders. And when I do this, I use a yarn needle. So I'm going to use like this. You don't want to use a really tiny needle because it won't go through all of the layers, because I dimple mine. And I don't know if you can see that. So see how it kind of swishes down here in the middle? I create a dimple and I go all the way through and pull it out and come out the top. You don't have to do that. And I don't do that on the small ones. But on my bigger ones, I do that because I like that effect. But you want a needle that's not super tiny. So I don't use a big yarn. So like here's a bigger one. I use kind of like middle of the road yarn needle. So that's kind of what I use. Let me see. I pulled out there's a brown. So kind of get another color. I think I knocked it off during the other live we just did. No telling. Let's see. What's this color? Yeah, that's got a little red to it. We'll go with the dark. It won't show. The thread doesn't show. So anyways, when I do these, I'm going to pull out my thread and I actually go this length. So I do the length of my arms. And I'm going to cut this because I double up my thread because you want it to be a little bit strong. And I really don't need to do that because this is a really big eye right here. Thank goodness, because I'm kind of blind these days. All right, so I'm going to just, I'm just going to take it right here and I'm going to bring my two raw edges together. And you're going to knot it. And okay, this is probably the official way. So I'm a seamstress and I've been sewing most of my life. So yeah, lick your finger. You got the two ends right here. Hold it between your finger and thumb. At the end, wrap it around your forefinger, your finger, roll it off, and then pull it back. And it makes a great knot. So if you see that. Yeah. So anyways, and so I have a double thread right here. So you want a little bit of a double thread to give you a little bit. And I'm going to do it on the big one. I probably should do the little one. That'd be quicker. We'll do the big one. All right. So I just start, and I usually come in probably about 3/8 to 1/4 inch from the edge. And I'm going to do what we call a basting stitch, a running stitch, a gathering stitch. Is there another word for it? It's all the same thing. So I just go in and out. So you're going to go, and it doesn't have to be precise. So I go down and up. And I leave, can you see that? I need to pull this down. My bad. Here we go. So you can see my hands. Okay, so see how I'm doing? Whoops, it's not all the way down. It's still bad. Here we go. So do you see I'm like right there? So I'm going to, and I count to 10. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And like I said, they don't have to be exact. Nobody's going to know. So if I'm looking at this, can you see my stitches right there? They're not exact. You probably can't see them because my thread matches so well. All right, we're up here at the top. Okay, so I'm going to pull these. So I'm going to pull them and create my gathers. There we are. I got twisted around. My bad. So anyways, I like to work on the wrong side of the fabric. It's kind of really hard to tell on this fabric, but I'm on the wrong side. It's where I drew my circle, my pattern. There's a little Sharpie mark right along through here. And then we're going to come through here. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to just kind of keep going in and out, in and out. Okay? And like I said, because this is cotton, it may fray a little bit. So we're up on the edge, and it may fray just a little bit. And that's okay, because it's not going to fray a whole lot. I've made this particular pumpkin a whole bunch. The cheetah print is very, very popular, and it's very, very hard to find. Nobody has just solid cheetah. And you can, depending upon how long your needle is, you can do this. You can do, 1 or 2 if you're not comfortable with. I just like to do, I just roll my needle all the way up. As much of this will happen or hold on my needle, I'll do it. So like I probably have about 6 or 7 little gathers right there. And so I'm just pulling it tight. So see how that's doing right there? It almost looks like a shower cap, doesn't it? So we just kind of keep going around. This is why you have to have that thread so long in the beginning. One, because you're doubling it up to give it strength, because you don't want to break. You don't want it breaking. But you don't want to do all this work and then pop a thread. That is not. Oops. This happens occasionally. It might knot up. Okay, we're good. All right, so we're just kind of keep going. La, 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 la. So I'm in North Texas, in the Arlington area between Dallas and Fort Worth. And yesterday in our little neck of the woods, it was 107 crazy degrees. So we kept thinking we would get some rain from the hurricane down on the coast, but it's yet to come up this way. However, our skies are darkening up right now, so I don't know if we're going to get some rain or not. All I know is I feel for people down there in harm's way. This water is scary. I have a healthy respect for water. Okay, so see what we're getting right here? Like I said, it looks like a shower cap. So we're just kind of going all the way around, and I'm just, I'm keeping about a quarter, probably about 3/8 inches in from the edge. And I'm just going in, out, in, out. And I think my needle comes up, do you see about that far? I can't tell, it's hard to see. So my needle comes out about 3/8 of an inch, and then I tuck it into the fabric, and then I bring it back out. And then I tuck it back down and pull it back out. So, and then I pull the whole thing. Say that, and it's not going to work. So if you look at my stitches, you can kind of see, can you see them right there? Oops. They're about there, that far apart. So I'm going to pull these right here, and we're going to keep going around. Yeah, we've been putting in several of our kits, we have these handmade pumpkins. And a lot of people have been asking me how I make them. And there's a lot of videos out there on how to make them, and they're all a little different. And so, like I said, I've been sewing since I was in high school. And that was a long time ago. But I never thought back in the day that I would be making fake pumpkins when I learned how to sew. So you never know. So it doesn't look like, so now it's starting to take the shape a little bit. And like I said, it really does look like a shower curtain. So I'm not going to pull my gathers right now so tight. I'm going to leave them a little bit loose because I've got to leave room for my hand to go in and stuff it. And like I said, because these edges are raw, we're not going to finish them. You don't want to create a lot of friction when you're putting the stuffing in, because it will cause your edges to fray. If you're in, with the lures, they don't fray. The edges don't fray, but still, you don't want. You just don't want to create a lot. You don't want to cause a lot of where your hand, you're going to mess up your fabric because you didn't leave enough opening for you to put it in. So see how I kind of left them loose? I'm going to kind of loosen it up a little bit more around here. So it really does looks like an ice pack or a shower curtain, or not shower curtain, shower hat. So I'm leaving an opening right here, and then I'm going to grab my fill. So you can get this at Joann's, you can get this at Walmart, you can get it at Hobby Lobby. And I just grabbed little handfuls of it, and I'm just going to start filling it in. Okay. So, and I just kind of spread it out. I don't want it to clump in a ball anywhere. I just kind of spread it out. And you guys, you can vary how much you flip. And notice, here's my needle. My needle's still hanging out, all right? So keep it, make sure you don't stuff it on the inside. I say that because I've done it. Maybe. All right, so I'm just kind of filling this in. I like mine kind of full. But you do you kind of get it. So I'm kind of not for sure how full it is just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it tight. And I see where it is, and I'm like, I want a little bit more. So I'm going to open it back up a little bit more too. And I'm going to put just a little bit more in. All right, so the thing you need to look for right here is on these edges, you want to make sure your edges are up. They're not like that. You don't want them tucked under. You don't want them on the inside like that. You don't want them in. You want to make sure the raw edges are up. Okay. All right, so I'm happy with that. I think it's pretty symmetrical. These all have a personality, so I'm going to pull this tight. Okay. So I'm pulling it tight. All right, kind of, move it all around. Now, I will tell you, when you do these guys with the plush, this fabric's a lot thicker, and it does not come this tight. It's more like this. So you have to do a few more stitches to get it, all tight. Because what you don't want happening is if you have, this is another reason why I'm not real happy with these, because that's a small area. Now, it'll work for this one, but when you have a wider base right here, this will work really nice on the plush, the velours, because it's hard to get their hole really tight. So this one's kind of cool too. I like that one too. So anyways, I'm going to pull this tight right here. And then I'm going to hold that in place with one hand while I start going across. And I'm gonna start going across. And you want to stay within that 3/8 inch. You don't want your needle coming way out here an inch away. You want to keep it within that same little area that we were doing just a second ago. All right. So I'm just gonna kind of go crisscross across. So see how I went this way? Now I'm going this way. I'm making little X's all the way across. All right, so now that I've got those anchored in, I'm going to just do several more of these stitches just to secure it, make sure it's really tight. And you don't want, see how like this side right there is a little loose? You just want to kind of keep them in. So see, I'm just closing that hole up. I'm going from side to side, going across the hole. And I just rotate it about 90 degrees or, 45 degrees every time. Probably more like 45. And this is another reason why you have this longer, thicker needle, because you're going across like this. Because if you were in a skinny needle, it would not be happy. Okay, so I feel pretty comfortable now with the opening being sufficiently closed. So see how that is right there? Can you see? So it's closed. So now you can leave, if you want to fluff this up, you can squish it up like that, and you can put your stem on right now. It would be totally fine. Actually, that's kind of cute. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to stab it through the center, and I'm going to push it all the way through. Be careful you don't stab yourself. Try to find the center, and you're going to bring it through the bottom. And then I'm going to move it over probably about a quarter of an inch, and I'm going to bring it all the way through the middle, back through that opening. Okay, now this time watch when I pull. So see if you can see this. So when I pull it, it's going to go whoop. You got to make that sound too when you do it. So it kind of dimples it. So see in the back, it created a dimple. And on the top, it created a little bit of a dimple. So I'm going to pull that right there. And now I'm going to knot it. So I'm just sticking it through my fabric. And then I'm going to pull the thread and knot it. And to keep that dimple, you got to kind of, there we go. So I do this about 3 times. So I'm going to run it again. So there's 1, And so what I do is you have this loop right here. You have this loop, and you go in between it. You go through it. 2, and you don't have to do it this many times. I'm overkill. I'm extra. So see how you have that loop right there, and you just insert your needle through it, and then you pull it. Okay. And then just cut your thread, and there we go. All right. So we got our pumpkin here. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to use this guy. So because I'm in Texas, I do not trust hot glue because it gets over 100 degrees and then melts the hot glue and everything falls off. So we always wire and put everything in there. So this is E6000. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. You can get this everywhere. And I really need to clean my spout or my thing right there. So in the middle, for security, I put this stuff in the middle. Now, this takes a while to dry. So I come in with my hot glue gun, and don't go all the way to the edge because you don't want it seeping out and getting on your fabric, because hot glue is just nightmare to get off of fabric. So I'm going to just come in here, and I'm going to just kind of go around the circumference of the glue I just did, the E6000. So see, that's kind of what I'm doing right there. I don't know if the light's kind of crazy if you can see that. So E6000 in the middle, hot glue around the edge. But don't get too close to the edge because you don't want it seeping out. Because if it seeps out, then you get to play the tuck game. And I had to do that yesterday on one. And oh, good gracious. I was really grateful I wasn't on the live when I did that one. Because it never fails. It seems like it always happens on the live when it goofs up. So I just kind of hold it here for a second and let sugar, I guess a couple seconds, because I want to make sure it doesn't pop up. Okay, so there it is. And I just kind of fluff it up a little bit. You can scooch around the gathers if you want, but I'm really happy with its shape. I think it's super cute. And there you go. So like I said, these are real life stems I get from eBay. There's a lot of people that sell them on eBay. Didn't know it was a thing, but it's a thing. And then use a pizza pan or pizza stone, or even, remember back in the day when they would put the cardboard circles under the pizza? I haven't seen those in a long time. They don't do that anymore. But anyways, you could do that and just get your round shape to cut and just kind of start playing with them. Play with some different fabrics. I've made them in the grays. Just these colors. Oh, and I have the teal ones over on that one, that wreath that I made. Let me see if I can get that really quick. So we did this wreath the other night. Let's see if you can see. It's kind of hard. Let me see if I can lift the camera up a little bit. So we made this wreath the other night. So here's the cheetah. Here's the one with the seersucker and the mustard. I love mustard. So that one's there. And then if I curl this around, there's the teal one right there we kind of put on the sign. So a lot of different pumpkins. And what's so nice about making your own, one, you're guaranteed you can get the color that you want. But two, you can also get the size that you want. So you don't have to wait, or look or scour, all the places trying to find exactly which one. And no two are alike, which is great because like this one's not totally round right there. And this one's more round, but not totally round. So, they're just so unique. And I just think they're just so fun. Like I said, if you want a fluffier, you can sit there and squeeze them like this and change the shape. And if you're putting them on a wreath, you just insert, create your holes right here. I use a pick. And then I insert my pipe cleaner through there, or chenille skin. But that's there. And that's how I do these. So if you have any questions, please message me. And thanks for tuning in and seeing how I make these. Like I said, lots of videos out there. This is kind of how I watched a whole bunch of them, and this is what I came up with. So those who've done it before me, y'all were an inspiration, and always look to learn. Always try new things. It's a lot of fun to learn. So anyways, that's all I have for you tonight. And I appreciate it. And we'll see you. We're doing a live on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see you then. Talk to you later. Good night.